Welcome. I see people are still arriving. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm going to take a moment to introduce myself. This is me. My name is Christine Kramlich. I want to welcome you to our training. As you can see from my photo here, I'm not only a regional consultant for PRC, but I'm also a mom of 2 children, one of whom uses a communication device, and this is her. Her name is Kylie. She's 12 and she has cerebral palsy, and you'll see a little bit of a video of her today. In addition to my personal experience with augmentative alternative communication, or AAC, I have my Master's of Arts in Special Education and 14 years experiencing educating those who are deaf and or blind. I joined PRC in 2010 as a regional consultant in Georgia, and this really is my dream job. I receive a full-time salary from PRC. I'm an employee owner of the company, and I'm also an Isaac member. That's Kylie at the Juliet Gordon Low House. Seems like just yesterday. So who are you? I'd like to take a minute to find out who you are. So if you'll just chat out what you come bringing to the table and what kind of device your individual uses, that would be helpful. And as you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and move along. I'll come back to this in just a moment, find out who you are. So you can be typing that while I'm going over the agenda. So today's agenda is this. We're going to do a little bit about language, 3 easy steps, favorite communication environments, major influences on your child's ability to communicate. We're going to share some breakthrough moments, and then we'll have a conclusion and some questions. So I look forward to being able to share this with you. All right, so to recap who you guys are, I see Crystal is a parent. Her child's using the accent. Farrell's a parent also using an accent. Samantha is a speech therapist who works with children and adults who use AAC. Great. This class should be useful for all of you, but it is a class specifically designed for parents. So hopefully it will be a special help to the parents. Oh, and another mom and an OT, a mom and an OT. Great. Thanks, Dee. I'm glad you're here. All right. Well, this class is based on a survey that a coworker and I sent out to families, and they agreed to share how they implement AAC in the home. So although the information and quotes that you see are from just a small sampling of parents and families, they really are representative of what we hear from many individuals with whom we interact. We also expect this database to grow as we continue to find families who are willing to share their experiences. So maybe you guys will be part of that next generation. There is a handout that you can use to follow along, so that's always helpful. And feel free to refer to that in your handouts. We do know that parents are juggling lots of responsibilities, and expecting you to incorporate a communication device in the home is adding another thing to that list. It really can feel very overwhelming. So thank you, parents, for being here. And thank you for understanding the importance of showing your child that you value his or her AAC strategies. We hope that from this seminar, you'll find some very simple and fun things you can do that don't require a lot of preparation. So I'm going to start off by giving a little bit about what we believe is important for individuals who need some form of AAC. We believe people who use AAC should have access to letters, single words, phrases, and common sentences. And we like single words because we know that's how language develops. Therefore, we believe a language program should include a variety of words like verbs, adjectives, and pronouns or core vocabulary. Nouns or fringe words are important, but having only nouns often limits individuals to labeling and requesting. So a healthy combination of core and fringe words are important. We like and believe in single words because they really do allow for the ability to grow language from single words like you see here: go, stop, more, help, want. to multiple word utterances like I go, you stop, want more. And this can be done, as you see here, with just a few words. You can already start combining. Flexibility is important as well because words can be used in more than one environment. Go can be used to tell someone to go away, or to make the car go, or to request to go outside. And communication through activity is important, not just requesting, but other language functionings like not just requesting, but we want kids to use other language functions also, like questioning. You could say, what that? That would be a beginning question, right? Commanding somebody to do something. Turn more. That's what the little boy said to me this morning when we were playing with the top. He wanted it to turn more. You might use it to protest, stop. And there's lots of other language functions as well. But you see, just a small group of words and you can already do so much. We also believe that someone should have the language to communicate anytime, anything, and with anyone. We don't want to lock our children into only being able to respond in contrived environments. We'd like to give them a chance to communicate things that might not have been anticipated through pre-programmed sentences. And our ultimate goal is for individuals to learn to communicate with anyone and to do more than just respond to questions or make requests. So there are many reasons why we might communicate, and here are some other language functions that we were just talking about. Requesting an action, that would be like do it, or somebody might tug on you to tell you that they want you to do it. Requesting an object, want cookie, pointing at the cookie. Getting attention, hey mom, or hitting you. One of my friends, Kara, that's what her nephew used to pinch people when he wanted their attention. So this might be another way somebody gets your attention. Greetings, hi mom, or smiling at you. Protesting, you might say stop or no or push something away. Asking for information, what's that? Or pointing and making that little question face you get on the forehead. Sharing information, I made this, I like it. Or holding up something to show you. Okay, so lots of language functions, and it can be communicated both verbally and non-verbally. There are a variety of single word-based language programs. And right now, what you're seeing here is Unity 84 One Hit from PRC. And I'm going to use this display to give you some examples of communication that go beyond requesting. So here's one. What is that? What is that? So they're asking a question. Describing. They feel, and when you touch feel, your top row changes, so you get the word happy up here. They feel happy. To reject, you could say don't like or stop. To command somebody, you can tell her come here or go away. To pretend or tell stories to somebody, he get big. So really, when you give kids single words, you allow for surprises. Just as you can't always predict what your typically developing child will say. For instance, one of my friends told me about her child using this communication system, and one day he said this, I play we. He was trying to tell her that he wanted to play on the Wii gaming system. And this was his way of communicating that. I play Wii. Well, that's not what this Wii really means, but that's how he used it. So it's really nice when you have single words because you can start to combine them in ways that maybe you didn't even think of to say the words that they want to say. So in addition to accessing single words, core words, and speaking for a variety of reasons, it's nice to have a plan in place. One that will grow easily over time, Limit the amount of programming that needs to be done. That's really important when you're a parent and you're so busy. And we really want the program to grow as our child's language grows without needing to program in page after page of vocabulary. So this is an example of starting out with just 25 words visible and then growing to thousands of words using a tool called Vocabulary Builder. And if you want to learn more about Vocabulary Builder, there's a great self-study class that you can take on demand. I recommend it highly. It is free class, and it's offered at PRC's website. So I can imagine that now you're asking, okay, great, I get it. Words, single words, I'm with you, but where do I start? Well, there's just 3 little steps that we're going to talk about today. Step 1 is have the device available. The device really has to be available so it can be easily accessed. And why is that? Because nobody can predict when the perfect opportunity will come up to be teaching. The moment is lost if you have to dig in the child's bag, get the device out, realize it's not charged, have to plug it in. Suddenly that moment of learning is gone. But if the device is available, then you can teach it in that moment. One of the moms that participated in our survey said it doesn't need to be, well, here's what the mom said. Her device lives on our dining room table during the day and on her nightstand at night. And no matter where she is, she seeks it out and uses it. It's not ideal, but if I move it closer to where she's playing, she doesn't look for it there. So what I learned from that is the device really doesn't need to be where that child is every second of every day, but they do need to know where to find it. It needs to be in a place that they can anticipate so that they can look for it there. So step 2, learn about your child's device. I think this is one of the most important things, and it was super important for me when my daughter first got her system. She got her first device when she was 3 years old. I've only been in this position for 5 years. So that was 10 years ago when she first got her device. I didn't know much at all about it. I had to learn. And I went to camp with her, and I was able to learn from a PRC consultant there about how her device was set up and why it was set up the way it was and where to put the switches and all those kinds of things that were really important for me. So learning about your child's device, I think, is super important. Most companies do provide device training. PRC definitely does. Most of you said that you had PRC devices. We provide training in a variety of ways, face-to-face with your local consultant, online like this. You can take self-study classes at times that are convenient for you. So it's one of those things where if you make the time, it can happen. So you need to learn how to communicate with your child's device, how to program it. Those are both important. If you can communicate on your child's device, then you can model for them what they're trying to say in that moment. And you need to know how to program it so that you can change things that need to be changed that are specific for them. These parents here are at a restaurant during a break-in training, and they were trying to place their lunch order using their device. What a cool way to practice. I thought that was a really, really great idea. She said, another parent, my knowledge of my daughter's device meant that I was able to teach her even when she wasn't at speech therapy. Thus, she got practice with her device all day, every day, and this made the most difference for her. That quote could come out of my mouth directly. That's exactly how I feel about training on devices. I think it's just, it's one of those things that made the most difference for my daughter as well. So step 3 so far, step 1, have the device available. Step 2, get device training. And step 3, modeling. Talk to your child while modeling some of the words you want them to learn. Children do what their parents do. They really do. If they see you talking with their device, then they're going to want to talk with it as well. And the other thing is respond naturally. Respond to what your child says when they say it, anything on their device. There's no right, there's no wrong answer. whatever they say, you just need to give it some meaning. So if they say the word go and you are opening the door, you might say, yes, we are going. We're going outside. You're right. Or if they say go when you're sitting down for dinner, you might say, yes, we're going to make that food go in your tummy. Or if they say go when you're turning on the iPad, you might say, yes, we're going to make the iPad go. We're going to go play that game. So you can make it fit any situation to reinforce that language and the words that they're saying. Communication still, this is another parent that has said, communication still remains challenging for us, but the more I use the talker at home, the more she will use it. It's like that with all the modes. If I lead with sign language, then my child follows. If I use voice, then they will follow. And she's now starting to put all those things together. I think that's really, really key. So here's the 3 steps. Have the device available, learn the device, and model words while talking and responding naturally. Examples of some implementation, how to do this on a day-to-day basis, are going to follow. So through a survey with parents and with many conversations with a number of families, we asked what their favorite time was to use the device with the child. So I'm going to ask you, what do you think is the #1 favorite place these families listed? And I'm going to launch a poll for you. Oops. So you should see a poll and you can choose whichever one of those you think is the most engaging place to use the device. And once about 80% of you have voted, I'll close the poll and show it to you. Right now we're at 33%. This is that audience participation part. So feel free to jump right in. Oh, 67% have voted. Getting closer. Oh, there we are. The magic number, 83%. All right, so I'm going to close this and I'm going to share it with you so that you can see. Most of you said that the best place you think to share the device, or the #1 favorite place to share the device, is during mealtime. And some of you said in the car also. I think those are both great answers. Let's see what our survey said.
Survey said
At the dinner table. At the dinner table. So here are some comments from the families. I'm going to let you look over those and I'll share a little bit from them. But every family that responded to the survey, every single one said that mealtime was a place where they used the device. Here's even one that talks about the G-tube feeding, and that they're talking, that begins with feeding time topics, but ventures to other topics because he's in his wheelchair for 40 minutes. And then they use the device again at their family mealtime because everybody's there together. At dinner time, at the dinner table, sitting at the dinner table. This was a recurring theme for us. So here's an example of Ben and his mom while Ben is eating. And I'm going to talk you through this video. I don't know how well you can hear it. So just bear with me. All right, so here's Ben. Mom says we're going to get your talker so you can talk. So Ben says on his device, stop. And Mom says, oh, that device is loud. And Mom responds by saying, you want your feeding pump to stop.
I know, but you have to sit while.
If you notice just a moment before, and I see it every now and again, he held his hand up like he was trying to sign stop too. I'm going to let you watch this video again so you can see it maybe. So step one was have the device available. So mom says, shall we get your talker so we can talk? So step two is know how to talk and program with the device. Mom says, hey, that's kind of loud. Let's turn it down a little bit. It's too loud. It's loud. If mom didn't know the device, she would not be able to do that. So it's key that she's able to do a simple thing like turn the device up or down. There's that little stop hand, see? I think he's trying to sign stop and say stop, but he is communicating in every way he can. He's grunting, he's moaning, he's groaning. Mom, stop.
But you have to sit while it's going. Stop. Stop. I know. Stop. Yeah, but look. Stop.
So she says, yes, I know you want your feeding pump to stop. That's the respond naturally. And I love what she does here.
It's not done yet. See the green light?
She's showing him his feeding pump. She says, see, look here. It's not done yet. See that green light on there? It's telling you it still has to go.
So we have to wait.
We have to wait.
Okay. How about we brush your teeth? That's always fun.
So she goes on and does a lot more with him and does some beautiful things, but it's 3 easy steps, okay? Now, here's another example, and this one's from several years ago, but it really is one of my favorites. I know this young lady. I've met her at camp. She is a delight, and her mother is absolutely wonderful. This is a video of her quite some time ago, but it is just as relevant today as it was back then. Mom says, do you want something? Look open, she says. Open. So she's opening it. She says, look open. What do you see? So Paige accidentally touches the word cookie, or at least I think accidentally. And her mom says, no, not a cookie. That's responding naturally, right? It's responding naturally, not a cookie. What is it?
Do you want some?
Do you want some? Oh, and there's the nod.
Cookie, this is ice cream.
Ice cream. Ice cream. Mom models it for her. And Paige does it herself.
Does Paige want ice cream? Does Paige want ice cream? Yeah.
Does Paige want ice cream? Yes.
What's Mommy doing?
What's Mommy doing? Nice open-ended questions. What Mommy doing? Paige could say lots of things after that.
What's Mommy doing? Ice cream. Mommy is.
Make ice cream. Make ice cream. That's what she modeled on the device.
You can say want or need or more.
Mom does a beautiful thing there. Paige is pointing, grunting, moaning, saying with her nonverbal communication, I want more. So Mom shows her on the talker. Look here, Paige, you can say want, you can say need, you can say more. She's giving her some choices of things she might say to communicate that in a more effective way. And Paige says more.
You can have more.
More ice cream. And so now she models that 2-word, more ice cream.
Yes. We're having more ice cream. Drew, look what Drew's having.
And now she's going to take the brother's ice cream away, and then he's going to say he wants ice cream, and then he gets it back. I love it. Pulling the brother in, why not? So step 1, have the device available. She had it right there on Paige's tray, ready to roll. Step 2 is know how to talk with and program the device. So she said, Mom said, this isn't a cookie, this is ice cream. So she knew where to show Paige to go to get the word that she wanted to say. And step 3, respond naturally. More. Do you want more ice cream? You can have more. Okay? 3 easy steps. This is the vocabulary that Mom modeled throughout that video. These are all the things that Mom said. This is what she showed on the device. Okay? Paige's mom knows the vocabulary. She was able to model it. To start, you might just use one key core word on the device if that's all you know. And then you can expand it as you learn more. Okay? So maybe at first you just know want or more. But then later maybe you learn ice cream and cookie. But the more words you know, the more you can model. Mom also modeled lots of words verbally too. So she said lots of things that she didn't show her on the device, and that's okay too. So both of these parents knew the vocabulary. One thing that I love about the PRC devices is there's a way to search for words in the device. If you do not know about Icon Tutor or Word Finder, those are excellent tools that you can use to search vocabulary in your device. You just go to the Icon Tutor button, you type the word that you want to find, or go to the Word Finder tool, type the word you want to find, and it shows you where that word is located in the device. It's an excellent tool. Use your learning opportunities from the manufacturer. I already talked to you about those, but don't forget, they're there and they're available for you. The responses are natural for the environment. That's very important. So acknowledge what was said, whether or not you know it's intentional. Ben protested. He said the word stop. Mom acknowledged that he said that word, showed him the green light on the feeding pump to tell him that she couldn't stop it. And model using core words at home. This is one of your resources that you have in your handouts. And this is something that I helped develop with a friend of mine, Kim. I was feeling very overwhelmed at the time with how to incorporate the device into my daughter's day. And so this is how I broke it down. I knew every day we're going to have meals and dressing and bathroom time and playing games and watching TV or movies, cooking, reading. And so because of that, I tried to think, well, what one word could we do at mealtime? Well, how could we expand that to 2 words? How about 3 words? And then I went through and did that for each of those activities so that I had a quick, easy reference to look back at. So please feel free to use this, add to it, expand it, whatever you need to make it work for you. Do model both verbally and on the device, just like Paige's mom did. That was beautiful. And I think including siblings is great. My younger daughter looks up to my older daughter so much. She idolizes her. She really does. And when my older daughter can show her something, she's far more likely to remember it than if I show her. All right, so what's your number 2 favorite place to engage your child in conversation? Number 2. So I think we have some new choices now, so we'll see what everybody thinks about these. So we're going to see if you guys can guess correctly, like you did the first time, what the second most popular response was. All right. 80% of you said while reading a book. 20% of you said while playing outside. I love that outside one. That's a great answer. Let's see what our parents said from the survey.
Survey said.
Reading. You guys are so smart. Reading is right. So these comments, again, were taken directly from the survey. Reading was another very common theme that came up when we asked parents where they wanted to engage their kids. So you can see here, reading stories together, commenting, turn taking with toys and reading books, talk time and reading, or watching a TV show and movie. I love this. We pause and have talk time or look at the pictures of the book and talk about what's going on. It's a great opportunity to model that. Okay, here's another parent says reading books. So why are books such a great thing to teach language? Why would we use them? Well, first of all, we can control the vocabulary. You can target the words you want the child to say, and you can read the rest. So say, for example, you're reading Brown Bear. Brown bear, what do you see? Well, maybe your target word is see. And so maybe you're asking every time the word see comes up that your child gets to say that word. And it comes up a lot in the book. So it's a great word to practice when you're reading that book. I think a lot of times we tend to target brown bear and forget about those other words that are the frequently occurring words in the book. What do you see? I see a. Okay? So we can control the vocabulary. It's repetitious. It's a great opportunity to learn new words, and kids love to read the same books over and over and over again. So it gives them lots of practice. We can use it to provide carryover into the home. So you learn the meaning of a word in the story, and then you model using it in other places. So if you're working on the word see in the Brown Bear book, and then you go outside for a walk later that day, you might use the word see again. Look, I see an airplane. I see flowers. I see my friend. It also fits into the school curriculum. You can target any words, Dolch words, Edmark words, whatever they're using in school. And this really does lead to literacy and recognizing sight words. So it's a great tool for doing that. A word like see is one of the earliest words that kids learn to read. And it's fun. Reading is fun. There are resources on the internet to help make reading more fun. So if you're struggling with that, just know that it's something that you can work on. You can also make your own books. I did. So here's a book that I made for my daughter a long time ago when she was practicing do and don't. I put the icons in there for her words, and then she could read it with the picture cues. And then as she got better, I could take the picture cues out and she could read it independently with just the words. And you see, this was a do-don't book. So at first we just targeted the words do and don't. Those were the only words she had to read. And then as she got better, she could read the whole thing. Okay? So how do you read to your children? This is a great 3-minute video demonstrating how to read to children and some things that you might do. I think the video's a little long to show, but you have the link in your resources. So I'm going to show a little bit of it and then skim forward to the end just so that you can get an idea.
Before reading a story to your child, show them the cover of the book and ask them questions about it.
Which one is Harvey? Is this the big beaver or the small one?
This allows your child to apply their background knowledge to the story and have a better understanding.
Ask your child personalized questions about the story. This creates interest and motivates them to read on.
What's this thing? An electric mixer, yes. Whose mummy's got an electric mixer? Yeah, most of them will have it.
Check new vocabulary by encouraging your child to use picture clues from the story.
Can you see Chip is covering his ears because it's very noisy?
So this gives you some ideas about some things you might do if you're not sure how to incorporate this in. And hang on, and I'll show you the end where they give you all the strategies. So here they are. Show the cover, ask personalized questions, use picture cues, check understanding, use different voices, encourage prediction. I love this one about books because you can ask, what do you think is going to happen next? And no matter what they say, it can be right because you're just predicting, you're guessing. So it's a great tool to encourage kids to communicate and talk. Use actions to make things engaging, rereading, and then ask your child what they liked or don't like about a book. I love that one too because it's one of the first things that I teach for commenting is like, don't like. So I think that's a great tip. So again, that video is included with your resources, or at least the link to it. This is my daughter, and she is reading a book with me. It's not her favorite book, and she really didn't want to be reading it, but this is her. So
temper flared up. She could not.
Hopefully you'll get an idea of why this matters.
Abide this young girl whose goodness made her own daughter seem more hateful than ever. She gave her the vilest household tasks. It was Cinderella who scoured the pots and scrubbed the stairs, and Cinderella who polished the bedchamber of Madame, and also those of her daughters. What chores do you not like?
So here's that not like, and trying to make it personal. So what do you like? What do you not like? And trying to make it more personal to her. So what about her? What does she like or not like? So let's see what she answers. She uses eye gaze to access her device. So there's a little red dot that shows where she's looking.
Not.
And so she says not. Not mom.
She's not the mom. Cinderella's not the mom. She shouldn't have to do all that.
So, of course, what does my daughter say? She's not the mom. She shouldn't have to do all that work. So evidently it's my job at home to do all the work, to do all the chores, and not Cinderella's job to have to do all that. So she didn't really answer my question, but she did make a comment that I found to be quite interesting. So that's Kylie. So what's step one? Have the device available. It's mounted to her chair. She always has it with her. Step two, know how to talk with and program the device. Well, I am a PRC consultant, so I do know that, but I had to be taught too, and I had to learn along with the rest of everybody by going to classes and by learning from other people who knew a lot more than I did at the time. And step three, respond naturally. She's not the mom. She shouldn't have to do the work. Even though Kylie didn't put together a whole sentence to tell me what she was thinking, she put together enough words for me to get the idea at that point. And she was already giving me a lot more than what she really wanted to. If you have a hard time reading books in a fun and engaging way, there are so many fun books out there already done for you. And this is a great example. It is the live telling of the story, Pete the Cat. I love my white shoes.
Pete the Cat was walking down the street in his brand new white shoes.
He loved his white shoes so much. As he walked along, he sang this song. I love my white shoes. 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 I love my white shoes.
Oh, no. Pete stepped in a large pile of strawberries. What color did it turn his shoes?
There's predicting. That's a great time to stop your story and say, oh, what color did it turn his shoes? What do you think? He stepped in strawberries.
He'd cry.
And there's the repetitive lines. Did Pete cry? And all the children say, goodness, no. Maybe the word goodness isn't on your child's device, but certainly they could say no.
Walking along, singing his song.
I love my red shoes. I love my red shoes. Doesn't it just make you want to sing along and play with the kids? I think it's so much fun. So this is a great example of that kind of storytelling. So you can practice your repetitive lines with the beat. So here's the parent saying, I love my, and then you're waiting on the child to say, oh yes, white, that's right, shoes. So maybe at this point, they're just saying the color, and that's fine, and you're filling in the rest. Okay, so you're giving them an opportunity to participate with those repetitive lines, but they're filling in the blanks. You can talk about your feelings. Did Pete cry? No. Check for understanding. What color did it turn his shoes? Red. That's right. So you can find out, did they get the point of the story? Did they understand? And you can really make reading a regular habit. You can interact while reading by doing a lot of things. This is a chart that one of my coworkers found. It is included with your materials, and it's just another way to think about what kinds of things you can do while reading. I found this chart to be very overwhelming because I'm one of those people, I think that I have to do every little thing that the chart says, and I would need to check them all off as I'm doing it. So I'm encouraging you to just pick one or two things off the list and choose those to do while reading with your child, just to give some more opportunities for language and language development. A spin-off of using books to teach and practice vocabulary is using pictures. These can be pictures of family members, vacations, pets, pictures of the device user themselves. My daughter's at camp this week. She is going to come home with pictures for sure and things she wants to say. It's a perfect opportunity for her to write a book when she gets home about what she did while she was at camp. This is the strategy. Darlette wrote this about how to use this strategy. So if you need a reminder, you can look back at this. The link is there. And she's talking about how to write books using real pictures. Oh, that's a great picture there. It makes me want to write for sure. So you can do a lot of things when you're looking at a picture. You can do labeling. So labeling might be, what's in the picture? What animal is it? If your child's at a one-word level, they might say dog or cat. 2 words, they might say a dog or a cat. If they're at a 3-word level, they might say dog and cat. Or maybe I see dog. Okay, describing what's happening in this picture. What are they doing? And this is your question. So you're trying to get a describing answer. You need to ask the describing kinds of questions. What are they doing? Sleeping. They are sleeping. Talk about location. So where is the cat? Or you could ask, where's the dog? If you ask, where's the cat? On the dog. Sleeping on dog. Or where is the dog? Under the cat. So it depends on the question you ask as to what kind of answers you're going to get. You can talk about feelings. How do you think the dog feels? Happy, mad, tired. Who knows what they'll say? There's no really wrong answer. So language is more than requesting or labeling objects. It's really about a variety of language functions. Okay? And here's what one of the parents said in the survey. Although Amy started out mostly using her device to request things, and still does, now she likes to describe things or tell us how she's feeling. These are things that your speech therapist is doing on a regular basis with your child, and they're things that you can do too, and that's what I'm trying to encourage you, that they're not just things that your speech therapist has a magic wand for. You can do this as well. You can carry through with this too. Okay, so now let's talk about learning to talk while playing games. So I'm going to launch a survey to ask what kind of game your child most would like to play. A board game, a card game, a physical game, that would be like trampoline or dress up or something, or an app video game kind of a thing like Talking Tom or Angry Birds. So you guys chat out to me. Okay, I heard apps, a physical game, physical game. Physical game. Dee says, I love it when they're ready to say 2 and 3 words describing. They say what they think. Then I respond with what I think that might be different. Great, Dee. That's excellent. So it sounds like most of you guys like physical games. So let's talk about a physical game. So you guys said a physical game. Anybody having a good example of what physical game their child might like to play? Dress up, that's a good one. Okay, so we'll use dress up. Oh, trains, that's a great one too. Red light, green light. So you guys can kind of think about your, a ball. Yes, ball's a very physical game. Excellent. So any of these might be good examples, and they're great because they're so much fun. Games are fun. They're motivating for kids. They're based on a routine, and there's opportunities for turn taking. A game like ball, it's so obvious that that's a perfect opportunity for turn taking. Dressing up, it's not as obvious. Red light, green light, that's another great turn taking one. So if turn taking is something your child's really working on, or if they need that routine of it, then you would steer more towards a game like that. If they want something that's just fun or intrinsically motivating for them, that might lean more towards dress up or train. So it just depends on your child. So step 1, of course, is still have your device available. You're going to sit next to the child at a table. Maybe you hang the device on a doorknob just so that it's readily available. This child's in the kitchen, playing in the kitchen, so mom's hung it there on the doorknob. Here's on the floor. Here's even on a tractor. Look, this one's mounted there to the tractor. That's our friend Paige again. She's got her device there with her on the tractor so she can say go. Sometimes you might need to carry the device, especially for these physical type games. If you're playing red light, green light, that child may not want to have the device in their hands while they're playing that game. You might need to hold it for them. And mounted to the chair. If you have a child in a chair, that's always a great spot to have the device. So we're going to go with dress up. So let's think about what words we might target and model on the device when we're playing dress up. Okay. Put on. Great. What's some other words we might say? Take off. My turn. Great. All right. Now, what are we as the adult going to ask in order to elicit this response? So what can we as an adult say in order to get the child to say put on? This is where it gets a little harder, I know. What do we need to do? Good. What do we need to do? You could probably ask that again for take off. Ooh, I love that comment. Who said that? D. That's great. I have a hat. And then that expectant pause. Okay, what do I do first? That's great, Farrell. Perfect. Yeah, so all those are really excellent responses. And you could say again, what do we need to do? Or what do you want to do? Okay, so if they're trying to take it off, maybe they need some help. That might be a great time to ask, what do you want to do? What might we ask to get them to say, my turn? Model it. Okay, good. So you might show them, oh, my turn, and then take it, right? Have only one of a preferred item, then I use first, or ask for a turn. Good. Maybe you just say, whose turn is it? Whose turn is it? And then that my turn or your turn? Okay. And then over here, what are we going to say to reinforce what they said? So we asked, what do we need to do? The child says, put on. And what are we going to say as a natural response? That's right. You put it on. Very good, Farrell. That's right. You put on the hat. How about for take off? Depends on who's putting it on. Yes. Oh, very good. Or the natural consequences, you actually put it on their head. That's right. For my daughter, if she said put on, the natural consequence would be I would put the hat on her head. Very good, Crystal. I'll help. I like that. I'll help. That works for this as well. What do you want to do? Take it off. I'll help. Okay. What about for my turn? You guys are doing a great job. This is one of those things that really makes you think about how to gear these conversations so that they can happen more naturally. Okay, it's my turn. Yep. Or your turn, or, whatever they say, right? Perfect. That was great, you guys. Excellent. So that's step 2, know how to talk with the device. And then respond naturally. So we did it all here. Very good, Farrell. No, it's not your turn. It's my turn. So here's what you can say to help the child say, and then respond naturally. Okay? The takeaway from this is to have fun when playing games. And if you're not having fun, or if the child's not having fun, stop. Do something else. Call it quits for the day. And sometimes what I need to do is I pick some words that I'm going to model during play. So maybe if we're playing a game like dress up, I have in my head that I'm going to work today on put and take and turn. And then I know those words I'm going to try to incorporate when we're playing. And they're words I know I can use. And I always do try to end on a high note. You don't want to end when things are going poorly. And then every time that you bring out the device, the child thinks that things are going to end badly. I always try to wrap it up while things are still going well. Okay, it's not always possible, but I try to make that happen. The final question that we ask is, what do you think is a major influence on a child's ability to communicate? And I'm going to hurry through this because I can see we're running low on time. But some of the things the parents said were access, belief in abilities, and competence, presuming competence. The more we used the talker, the more they used it. And an amazing team. Those are some great reasons why people feel like a device is being used or has been used. If necessity is the mother of invention, expectation is the mother of success. And whether you think they can or whether you think they can't, you're right. So believe in kids. I'm going to share with you, like I said, we're running short on time. I'm going to share with you my daughter's breakthrough moment. So my daughter, her breakthrough moment was she needed it because of me. I was the kind of parent, as a special ed teacher, I felt like I needed to quiz my daughter all the time with her device. And so that's what I did. I was constantly saying, what color is this? And what shape is this? And what body part is this? And I wanted her to be able to show people how smart she was. But she thought that was really boring. And lucky for me, she went to camp and she met this amazing individual, Bach, who has a great sense of humor and knows how to laugh and tell a joke. And he showed my daughter that communication should be fun and that she can use her device to tell her mom to go get her food for her and to tell jokes and to say do. And that do is a lot funnier than just do. And he showed her all kinds of things that made her want to use her device. He showed her that communicating should be fun. And because of that, she had a breakthrough moment and she started using her device much more. And it was a moment for me just as much as it was a moment for her. I'd love to hear about your breakthrough moments as well, but we are at our 1 hour. So I just want to wrap up by saying that we do know life is busy. You need to have your device available, learn how to speak with the device, talk to your child while modeling a few words on the device, and pick one place to start that works for your family. Celebrate all the successes, little ones and big ones, and feel free to email me, contact me. I hope that you guys enjoyed today, and I look forward to seeing you all again at another time.